Mankind's quest for freedom is constant. Freedom from the cycles of night and day, loss and gain, birth and death. Freedom from pain, anxiety, loss and hunger. This quest for freedom has led to the development of all world religions and spiritual paths. Yet, in these modern times, our spiritual challenges are on the rise as we struggle with our own humanity. Of the multiple ways to gain higher knowledge, one path offers its faithful a practical discipline to gain freedom. Jainism, a path of compassion and non-violence. Of generosity and inclusivity, it offers solutions to daily struggles and a chance to become a Jina, the ultimate victor.
आज पूरी दुनिया को इसी की ज़रूरत है। ये जो जैन दर्शन है, खास तौर से अहिंसा का, जियो और जीने दो का, ये पूरी दुनिया इसी के लिए जद्दोजहद कर रही है।
जैन धर्म ये कोई धर्म नहीं है, ये एक फिलॉसफी है, ये वे ऑफ लाइफ है।
हमारे जो जैन धर्म में जो भगवान के सिद्धांत है वो है अहिंसा परमो धर्म। हम हिंसा में नहीं मानते।
And contrary to several Western philosophies, in Jainism, man is not the only center of life.
What is important is your karma. You are the writer of your own destiny. You are the writer of your own future. You are the writer of your own history. That is called the Shraman tradition.
You do not find black and white answers. There are always many facets to a problem, and you have to understand all of these facets before coming to a judgment.
जो आज हिंसा का जो तांडव है, जो भूखमरी है, वो सब के सब दूर हो जाएंगे। एक भी व्यक्ति अगर इसने उसको गहरा अध्ययन कर लिया, तो मंदिर से बनाने से भी ज़्यादा एक मनुष्य अगर हिंसा से अहिंसा में परिवर्तित हो जाता है, तो ये हमारी सबसे बड़ी जीत हो जाएंगी।
I am very impressed with the Jain philosophy because it is based on three aspects. One is non-violence, अहिंसा, non-violence. Second is कि आप उतना ही इस्तेमाल करिए जितना कि आपको ज़रूरत है, उससे ज़्यादा इस्तेमाल ना करिए। और तीसरा कि अगर किसी और का विचार, सोच विचार आपसे अलग है, तो आप उससे झगड़ा ना करें। आप ये बात माने कि उसका भी एक पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू है और उसको अधिकार है अपना अलग पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू रखने का। ये सारे वैल्यूज़ हैं जैनिज़्म के जो पढ़ के मुझे मैं खुश हुआ, बड़ा इम्प्रेस हुआ ये जानकर। इससे मुझे सीखने को मिला।
Jainism. It's a religion that is thousands of years old and is still today practiced by nearly 5 million Indians and thousands of global faithfuls. Amongst this small yet powerful population are some of India's greatest artists, thinkers, businessmen and women, leaders and creators. The Jain community tops the charts in literacy in India at over 94%, far outstripping the national average of 65%. Jains are also amongst the largest contributors to India's GDP, leading from the front in its economic progress. The Jain lifestyle has proven to be one of the healthiest, with the average lifespan exceeding the national average. And the Jain emphasis on non-violent discipline has proven inspirational to iconic world leaders from Mahatma Gandhi to Martin Luther King. So, who are the Jains? And what is this world religion we call Jainism?
ये ज्ञान हमेशा के लिए उसका एक ही बात है, जहाँ आत्मा है वहाँ ज्ञान है। आत्मा हमेशा का है तो ज्ञान भी हमेशा के लिए रहने वाला है। और जैन फिलोसॉफी के जो भी प्रिंसिपल है हमेशा के लिए रहेंगे।
There is no precise date to herald the beginning of Jainism. Different eras over thousands of years saw the emergence of great thinkers and reformers who built the road to present-day Jainism. These were neither gods nor divinely ordained, but each of them, through austerities, penance, spiritual work and visions, attained ultimate freedom from birth and death. In doing so, they shared with us their knowledge. These were the 24 Tirthankaras. In lore and scriptures, they are also referred to as Arihants, or destroyer of inner enemies, and Vitragis, or ones who harbor neither attachment nor animosity towards another. Then, approximately 2600 years ago, came the 24th Tirthankar, Mahavir, perhaps the most significant Jain personage in the contemporary world.
First of all, I consider Tirthankar Mahavir as one of the greatest social reformer and the spiritual reformer. 2600 years back, he said no caste system. There is no caste hierarchy. Nobody is above others. Nobody is better than others. All are equal. The second, he always believed there should not be any gender discrimination. What we talk right now has been propounded by him 2600 years back. On the spiritual aspect, that was the time when people started believing in gods to either have the favor or the cross or whatever it is. For all happiness, they have always looked to somebody who is supernatural. Tirthankar Mahavir here was the one person who said, that's not important. What is important is your karma. You are the writer of your own destiny. You are the writer of your own future. You are the writer of your own history.
Mahavir was born as Prince Vardhaman, of royal lineage, wanting for no luxury of the material world. And yet, his seeking heart led him to leave home at 30 years, seeking truths that would only come from great austerity. He renounced all possessions, owning not even a bowl for collecting alms or drinking water. He stopped all practices that would harm other life forms. He would let insects crawl or bite his body, patiently enduring the pain. He was often ridiculed and abused by others, but he maintained equanimity. He fasted often. When he ate, it was always the preparations or leftovers of others. Through it all, he meditated deeply, seeking eternal knowledge. In the 12th year of his asceticism, he is believed to have attained Keval Gyan, the highest plane of mystical and metaphysical awareness. Once enlightened, he set about building the foundation of contemporary Jain tradition.
The influence of these teachings, first of all, led to the construction of the first monastic tradition of the world. I don't know whether there's any earlier monastic organization, but I don't think so. And that is very, very significant in historical terms, even more so because the Jains also gave women the opportunity to become mendicants.
The teachings of Mahavir brought about a wave of social reform, one that centuries later is still touching lives with its healing message of compassion. Ahimsa, or non-violence, is at its heart.
किसी भी जीव को मारना नहीं। आपको प्राण देने का अधिकार नहीं है तो प्राण लेने का अधिकार कहाँ से लाए? अपने जीवन में एक छोटी सी सोई भोगते हो, कितनी वेदना होती है, तो किसी भी प्राणी को मारना, उसको न्याय कैसे कहना?
Jainism suggests that all living beings have a soul and are deserving of a life free of pain. and hence it becomes a moral imperative to practice kindness and non-violence in every aspect of life. This is the very bedrock of the Jaina way.
Other religions teach ahimsa as well, Hinduism and Buddhism and so on. But the Jains are more focused on strict conduct. They don't just talk about ahimsa in general, but they want to, they give us criteria how to measure our conduct, in mind, speech and body and so on and so forth. And that is a very, very good contribution and an education to learn.
Often the first image one associates with Jain ahimsa is of austere monks and nuns, who only eat the simplest of vegetarian foods donated to them, who only wear basic organic clothing. They do not use any transportation except their own feet, even to walk long distances. And many wear masks over their mouths so as not to harm any living being with their breath. But one needn't be an ascetic to experience the power of ahimsa. It is the same principle when adopted by millions of Indians which defeated 300 years of British imperial rule. And it is the same principle that contemporary Jains practice even today, in different forms, especially in their daily routine and diets. In this cruelty-free lifestyle, all practicing Jains are strict vegetarians, vowing never to harm life. This means that even root vegetables found by digging the soil, like onion, garlic, radish, carrots and mushrooms, etc., are forbidden. It is prescribed that the last meal of the day must be taken before sunset. Fasting, as a means of cleansing, is also practiced regularly. In fact, these principles are now prescribed beyond the Jain world by nutritionists and medical doctors as a means to achieve good physical, mental and emotional health.
हमारे शास्त्रों में लिखा है, हमारे बुजुर्गों ने लिखा है, हमारे माता पिता ने, हम जब बड़े हो रहे थे हमको तब से ये सिखाया। ये अलग बात है कि आप सब लोग भूल रहे हैं, कई लोग भूल रहे हैं, इसे पकड़ के रखिए। ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात है कि आप अगर 6 सूर्यास्त से पहले अगर आप अपना खाना भोजन कर लें, एंड उसके फायदे बहुत हैं।
Beyond dietary concerns, Jain values like ahimsa even influence one's professional ethics, no matter how high they climb on the ladder of success. In India, some of the top business leaders, trade and finance wizards, corporate giants and jewelers hail from the Jain community. Despite being surrounded by wealth and immersed in the high-stakes world of profit and loss, Jainism's value system offers practitioners a constant ethical guide.
I think there is no contradiction. We have to make a living. We have to be competitive. And as long as in whatever we do, we are sensitive to others and we are willing to help others, I think it is fine. There is this great concept, not only in Jainism, but also in India, in the basic Indian thought of aparigraha. Aparigraha means please have a limit about whatever your wants are. It's an extraordinary thing. Even if I said I will become a trillionaire, I must stop after a trillionaire. It's a very subtle point. And the subtle point is that if you are controlled by greed, you will never get free from it. But if you put a limit on your greed, you are accepting a limit on your mind and on your greed. And also mind point of view, imposing limits on your mind, on what you want to consume through your senses, is hugely beneficial.
Jainism places responsibility for proper conduct not on a god or extraterrestrial divine being, but on the individual themselves. Its prescription is a practical guide for daily life. Ahimsa, non-violence. Satya, truth. Astya, non-stealing. Brahmacharya, celibacy. And aparigraha, non-possessiveness. How does one practice these values in an increasingly materialistic world that rests on desire and acquisition? How does one reconcile the paradox? In Jainism, there is a way for all, and each individual practices the 5 siddhants in the most ideal way for them.
To say that all Jains practice this would be, or I practiced all of that at all points of time, would be false. But I think as I grew up, we had a greater understanding. The fact that my partner was also a Jain, and both of us have extraordinary fathers who were deeply spiritual, contented, very inspiring. It was easy for us to adopt a lot of those principles. So for example, very early on we decided that we will not support, invest, in any manner deal in companies which were violative of environment, which were into liquor, which were into pesticides, which were into hoteling, gambling, and so on. So anything which we thought was anti-life.
Why do Jains place compassion at the center of all their actions? One reason is their belief in the causal cycle of life and death and rebirth, a journey of the soul which is governed by karma. To understand the relation between karma and soul, Acharya Somadev from the 10th century AD offers an analogy. It is just like a person sitting in a boat. The boat takes him in whichever direction he steers. This means that one's actions drive the boat of one's life. And the more care we take not to harm others, the better will be our destination. And so, Jains have a system of accountability built into their rituals, including one of the most auspicious festivals in their calendar, the 8 to 10 day observance of Pariyusham. Embedded within the ritual prayers and readings is a very special event, the day of seeking forgiveness or Kshama.
I think this is extremely touching to see, and can these things be taught? I suppose at least students should know about the importance of forgiveness. You know, when so much aggression is stored up, you know, because of minor incidents.